Nulla tenaci, in via es via. To the tenacious, no road is impossible. As a brand motto, nothing could be more perfect for Spyker. Whether that's the original Spyker company, a carriage company founded in 1880 in Holland, or for the new Spyker company, founded in 1990. Reviving a mark is a challenging enough thing. Would the characteristics of the new car bring anything of the old car, the heritage car? Would there be enough people to remember what the heritage car stood for to care when you came up with the new car? Reviving a mark that had gone out of business in 1926, in 1990, not just revival, it's resurrection. And why Spyker? Well, the Spyker company that grew out of that 1880 carriage company manufactured cars and airplane components and was a very, very, very advanced company. They're among the pioneers in aerodynamic design back in 1901 with one of their cars. They were the first to come out with a four-wheel drive system and one of the first with a six-cylinder engine. So there's a lot to the Spyker name, but I didn't know that until they came out with the new cars and I looked it up. I had no idea. For me, Spyker was just a name in the catalog of old car entries, with a really neat propeller logo that they adopted right before World War I. And when the idea came up to revive this mark as a sports car maker, it was also quite interesting because when you have a company that's founded on engineering prowess, but you're buying in your main component in your engine, what does that actually mean for brand heritage? And what kind of brand heritage could the designers of the new Spyker bring to their car from the old car? Well, design is certainly one thing that they brought in, and this Spyker C8 La Violette that I'm driving is full of design. It's one of the things that the great designer Coco Chanel famously advised for a woman getting dressed to go out. Get dressed, accessorize, and then take one thing off. The Spyker is a stunning shape, a nod to that aerodynamic past history and the airplane history. This feels like you're in some sort of a strange, modern, yet Art Deco fighter plane. It's sort of Flash Gordon's personal Piper jet. And there is design everywhere. In the covering of the A-pillars, in more engine turning than you can see in the engine compartments of an entire fleet of Bugattis, and acres of quilted leather. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm a big fan of quilted leather. Always have been, always will be. And the Spyker probably took quilted leather to heights that not even Bottega Veneta took in any of their boutiques in Italy. But for me, the pièce de résistance, and the thing that really is the neatest design feature, design for design's sake, is the shift linkage. It is incredibly beautiful and also very mechanical. It's sort of what you want to see in an airplane-inspired car. So, again, we said Spyker is about engineering, performance certainly. And so, what are we driving here? The motive power plant for the Spyker is an Audi V8. Makes a wonderful sound, and certainly goes. But somehow, in changing the character of this engine, which is a very linear, smooth, even power plant, they managed to make it somewhat sort of peaky and awkward in some strange way, but again, very exciting and very visceral. You think about this as a car to use, it's very much a plaything. This is the perfect weekday drive car, Saturday morning car, take out for a good blast on your favorite roads. Not a car that you want to take a very long trip in, drive across the country or anything like that, but it is a really, really interesting car. As for that wonderful slogan about no road being impassable, the creators and owners of the new Spyker certainly set out a very ambitious road for themselves. At one point, they actually bought a Formula One team and renamed it Spyker. And of course, as most people know who started Formula One teams know, the best way to make a small fortune in Formula One is to start with a big one. And Spyker wasn't any different. After a season and a half of fairly indifferent results, they threw in the towel. The team was bought by Vijay Mallya and eventually became Force India. But it was very interesting and audacious to come up with an idea to basically create out of whole cloth a new Ferrari, a company that made amazing, impressive sports cars for the road, had a Formula One company, and offered a lifestyle for people that would be very dramatic and very special. I often wonder who the Spyker folks saw as their target customer. The cars were expensive. This car had an MSRP when it was new of $235,000. And yet it's not the car for the typical older gentleman looking for a sporty accessory. The car is too difficult to get into, not terribly comfortable to sit in, almost impossible to see out of. So it's really a young person's car with a mature person's price. That couldn't have also helped sales. But nonetheless, it's certainly arguable that the Spyker C8 is a much more interesting collector car than it ever was a practical car to use when new. And you know, I have to say, as silly and over-designed and over-decorated as this car is, it's really sort of a hoot. I guess I keep coming back to this. Cars that bring a smile to my face are the cars that I really like. And this car wants you to like it so much. It's trying really, really hard. It's saying, look at me, I'm aerodynamic. Look at me, I'm like an airplane. Listen to me. I sound like a really fast race car. And I am every luxury watch designer, every luxury leather boutique, all of it wrapped up into one. And for that is sort of neat. Also, another great thing I love about the design of this car and the details, toggle switches. Who can be a lover of sports car and not love toggle switches? Of course, toggle switches went away through a series of legislation to prevent the secondary injury inside of cars in case of an accident. So they became replaced by push buttons and big plastic levers. We've got the toggle switches here in compliance with all of the regulations. They're covered with these roll hoops, as it were, so that you can't impale yourself on the toggle switches, but it also gives this Spyker a great, truly retro look. A row of toggle switches with almost indecipherable pictographs above them. You could be in any sort of 1950s Italian sports car and feel right at home. As was mentioned earlier, the design details of the Spyker are quite amazing. Some of them astonishing, like the metal air vents, which are perfectly rendered propellers, as in the logo of the Spyker. Of course, being this beautiful actual cast metal, they also have a great deal of condensation when you're actually using the air conditioning. Another one of the features of the car, which is slightly strange and undeniably quirky, is this whole system of key, ignition switch, starter button. So as you're driving the car down the road, if you happen to reach for the windshield washer or something here, don't, whatever you do, press the cover down, because it kills the car. So therefore you have to start the entire ignition dance, which is reach into the glove box, reach over, turn the key, press the clutch, lift the switch, ignite the ignition, press the button. Not the car for a bank robber, clearly. You do feel like a combination of Flash Gordon, Dan Dare, Superman, and Ayrton Senna, with a little bit of banjo rolled in there when you drive this car. It takes you completely away from anything resembling everyday driving, and I guess in a flashy sports car, what more could you ask? So the question, whether they actually succeeded in resurrecting the spirit of a long defunct brand, it really doesn't matter. They've invented something else, which is as audacious as their slogan. Hi, it's Donald with this week's Audrain Auto Museum Fun Fast Fact Quiz question. The original Spyker company made its name in competition, and the new Spyker company followed. Both enjoyed respectable results in endurance races more than 100 years apart, with the Spyker 1418 PK coming in second in the 1907 Peking to Paris race, and the Spyker C8 La Violette GT2R getting a fifth in class in 2009 at Le Mans. What other manufacturer achieved a similar result 100 years apart in Grand Prix auto racing? If you think you know the answer, leave it in the comments below. You'll find out in our next posted video. Thanks and good luck. If you like these videos, let your friends know. Subscribe, comment, share.